What's going on with Bill Gates? What? I'll say it. It's creepy what he's doing. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm invested just like the next guy, but I'm not out there buying up all this freaking farmland. What does he know that we don't know? And oh, by the way, why is he always in the right place at the right freaking time? Give me a break. Give me a break. You know, when are we going to call out this dude and say, hey, buddy, what's your deal? You invest heavily into vaccines and, you know, medicine of all kinds. And all of a sudden, boom, we have a freaking you know what. Boom, worldwide. Your companies make a boatload of cash. Oh, by the way, you invest heavily into testing technology and testing for the C word, which I'm not going to say because, you know, we can't talk about that. And all of a sudden, boom, the federal government sends you billions of dollars, you and your buddy little Soros, billions of dollars to buy those kits. Give me a freaking break. Right? Why is this dude always in the right time at the right place to make millions of dollars? And oh, by the way, let's talk about his newest thing. He's pitching pandemic preparedness to countries, right? Let me help you be prepared for the next pandemic. And boom, we got the monkeypox. I mean, give me a freaking break. Like, when does this dude get questioned about shit? And not only that, but the farmland. Why is he buying up all this farmland? It's just his little hobby, his investment. You know, I'm into investments too, but I'm not buying up farmland like he is. Give me a freaking break. Dude, what do you know that we don't know? I feel we're being played by him. Does anyone else get this? Leave it in the comments down below. Let me know. Do you think Bill Gates is playing us? It sure feels like he's freaking playing us. I just ran across a post tonight by this gal, and I'm going to get her name wrong because it's an interesting name, Vanada Shiva. And it's interesting, and I'm going to read a little bit of it here, right here. Because she's calling him out, right? I mean, come on. How can you not call him out? Again, all she's doing is, I mean, she's doing she's saying what we're all thinking. Like, shit is weird about that dude. I'm sorry. It's just weird. You know, I'm going to read this to you here about this. She has no love for the man. She's like, dude, he is weird. He's doing weird shit. He's making weird stuff. Talking about, she calls him the modern day Christopher Columbus, right? And his big PR makeover that he's now this, you know, freaking savior to the free world. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. He has ties to Epstein and that whole mess, which we'll never know who was really on those flight logs, who never went to the island, because apparently we can't ask those questions. Oh, but we can ask and run poor inner city kids all up the chain, finding out who they're involved with. But we can't ask the questions who rich people and influential people are involved with. Bullshit. I'm over it. It's disgusting and sick and gross, and I'm done with it. I'm not about that. I'm tired of our prisons being filled with poor black people and poor white people and poor people of all different races. And you cannot touch these freaking idiots at the top, these millionaires and billionaires. No, I'm not for it. It's disgusting and gross. And why we put up with it in America, I don't know. I don't know why we put up with this shit. It's not right, you know? I firmly believe Bill Gates is going to have his time. You can't do all the weird shit that he's doing and not have some repercussions. I firmly believe that. And what I believe will happen is people will wake up, and believe me, they are waking up in a big way. I'm so impressed by Americans, and I'm so impressed by people all over the globe. Let's not even say Americans. Human beings. I'm impressed by human beings waking up. Did you ever think this would happen? And I'm going to speak for myself. I never thought I'd speak out about this ever in a million years. Never. I wasn't about it. I didn't like to make waves. I didn't like to cause a ruffle or potentially offend someone, a family or a friend member. But you know what? That ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. I feel we're in a pivotal point in our world and in our time right now. Pivotal point. People are either researching and want to know the truth, or they're diving in deep and continuing to put blinders on. That's just how it is. You know what? I don't fault people for that shit. Sometimes I don't want to do this. Sometimes I don't want to speak out about this. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. Let's be honest. But these uncomfortable conversations have to happen in order for us to wake up. When you're coming out of an anesthesia, it's uncomfortable. You don't want to wake up. You want to go right back to sleep. And you know what? Sometimes I do go back to sleep for a few days. Then I wake up and go, bullshit. No, thank you. I want to be fully awake for this shit. Because I got to tell you, we've been asleep for a long time. Some of us, let me rephrase that. Some of us have been asleep for a long time, and I'm including myself in that. There have been people that have been seeing this coming for 30, 40, 50 years and longer, right? And thank you, by the way, if you're listening. Thanks for waiting for me to wake my ass up, all right? I appreciate that. And I'm going to wait for people to wake up too, because you know what? It's not a race and it's not a freaking, contest. It's just do what you can to live in the moment and uncover the truth and tune into what your intuition is telling you. My intuition told me some funky shit was up months ago, earlier this year, late last year in 2021. And you know what? I denied that shit for a long time because I said, no way, I'm not speaking out about this shit. I'll alienate too many of my family and friends. I'll ruffle some feathers. And I didn't speak up for a long time, but it kept telling me, you got to speak up. You got to speak up. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. And you know what inspires me and gives me courage? Seeing other people speak up. The wave of people that are speaking up and asking questions, all it is about asking questions. Why would you not ask the question? This is what perplexed me in 2020 and 21. No one was asking any questions. Excuse me. Not enough people were asking questions. Not enough people were asking questions. And me, I wasn't asking any question because I already knew the answer. I don't ask questions from politicians. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. I don't need to ask them any questions because you know what? In my experience, they're never going to tell me the freaking truth. The only reason I didn't get caught up in the bullshit of 2020 and 2021 is I don't listen to those clowns. I don't listen to mainstream media. I don't listen to politicians. I assumed everyone else didn't either. Boy, was I wrong about that. Boy, was I wrong. I had a huge eye-opening. I thought, when I saw people listening to them and actually contemplating what they're telling them, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? We know how they are. We know what they do. We know what they're about. Why are you listening to these clowns? Again, I'm not, do what you want to do. I'm just saying, please be cautious. They're not your friends. They're not your buddies. And I always tell people when people ask me, why do you feel this way? And I tell people, they don't work for me. Politicians don't work for me. Public health officials don't work for me. And people ask me, well, who do they work for, Mark? I mean, we pay their salary. Oh yeah, we pay a portion of their salary. Now I'm talking about the politicians at the tippy top. Joe Biden made something like let's give the full big picture. He made like 400-ish thousand as vice president in what is last year of vice presidency. And that, for the 4 years, 400-ish thousand. As we all know, Fauci's the highest paid public employee and he's up in the 400 plus range. But, vice president makes a good salary. After he got out of the vice presidency, he made like $14 million. Now that's what I'm talking about. When I say they don't work for me. Oh, he may work a little bit for me, but who does he work more for? Well, he works more for the people who gave him the 14 million. See, you and I gave him the 400,000. You find out who gave him the 14 million and then you know who he works for. It's simple math, my friends. And we didn't give him that money. That's what I say. That's what I mean when I say these politicians don't work for me. Therefore, I don't listen to anything they frickin' say. because I know what they say is influenced by who they really work for or who they work harder for. You going to work harder for 400,000 or you going to work harder for 14 million? I know what I'd work harder for, that 14 mil. You bet, all day long. Why not? Anyway, question these people. Question them relentlessly. There's nothing else we need to do except question them, and also be skeptical. Be skeptical, my friends. Things are in play at the moment. I don't know if you've noticed. I'm sure you have. You're an intelligent person, right? Things are in play. Be skeptical of these clowns. This is not a time to go to sleep. And I'm telling you this as a person who wants to freaking go to sleep. I don't want to see this shit. It's like watching a train wreck. I keep talking to people and everyone sees what's coming. Everyone sees the shit that's coming. Is it a recession? Is it a depression? How bad will it be? The question isn't, is it going to happen? The question is, how bad is it going to be? Right? No, everyone knows some shit is going down. I don't want to watch it as much as the next person. But what is the alternative? Prepare as much as you can, get your affairs in freaking order, and then be ready to weather this storm, because something's happening. Something's happening, right? You look at things on the international monetary scene and the fact that Russia and China and other countries are starting to look at and or move toward changing or buying petrol in non-American dollar currency. That's the first time that shit has ever happened in a long time, right? You look at these things that are going down. Look, I don't know really what's happening with the Russia-Ukraine thing. This whole thing could be a freaking money laundering scheme. I mean, this is what really, I really question people when they're not open to whatever, when they're not open to an infinite array of possibilities. Here's my thing. If ever anyone says, oh, I know exactly what's going down, I got this shit, no, I know what's going down, you better be really skeptical of them. And I would back away slowly and say, okay, good luck with that. I'm going to be over here hanging out, not knowing what's going down. I don't know what's going down. I haven't known what's going down in 2+ years. And you know what? When I don't know what's going down, I don't do anything. Something weird is going on. And all these people, politicians, public health officials, when they say they know exactly what's going on, tested and approved, safe and effective, bullshit. Give me a freaking break. Come on. You expect me to believe that shit? No one truly knows what's going on. I don't care who you are. And especially, I don't even want to mention names, but little people who have been in the federal government for 50 freaking years. Those people know the least amount of what's going on because, like I said, they don't work for me. They don't work for me, so I don't listen to them. And I certainly don't listen to them when they say I know exactly what the hell's going on. No, thank you. So keep your eyes open. I know it's tough. You know what? Sometimes I just want to go into a freaking medically induced coma and ride this shit out and come out on the other end. But you know what? I know that's not what we came here for. That's not going to be the best thing for our growth and us having this human experience. We came here for this shit, whether we like it or not. In a way, it's the greatest story ever told. It's like a freaking ride at Disneyland, right? Espionage playing out on a global freaking scale, barring of course, the pain and suffering that the last 2 years has caused to people, which is no small undertaking. My heart goes out to people who have either people who are part of the pain and suffering of the thing or of not getting the thing or of getting the thing. You know what I'm talking about. Or the collateral damage from shutting down because of the thing, the mental health damage, the rates of suicide, the rates of contemplating suicide, the family issues that are coming up, the freaking drug issues that are coming up, you name it. I mean, the collateral damage is far and wide, my friends. And that is red flag number 5079. These government officials aren't saying a fucking peep about it. I'm sorry to swear there, but it's freaking irksome to me. They don't mention it one bit. And it's happening. It's happening. I'm sure you've talked to you friends and family member that are like, yeah, I just took my teenage daughter to the psychiatrist today because she's contemplating suicide. Yeah, first time that ever happened. I wonder freaking why. Or my son is having, mental challenges, depression. I wonder why. It's not a freaking mystery, right? You don't fearmonger human beings for 2+ years and lock them down and put these measures on, and then kids see their parents under freaking financial duress because of bullshit politicians, and you wonder why they're having mental problems and health and wellness problems. That's why. Human beings are freaking fragile. I've always thought that. And the longer I go on in life, I think it more. We're fragile freaking people. I'll end with this. Go check out gmarkphillips.com/comedy, not because I want you to listen to the comedy special, but because I want you to watch the commercial there that's on that page. It's about DHL and it's about dots. It's like 30 seconds long. And that is how it's basically the epitome of how you treat human beings and or don't treat them. Go watch it. It's interesting. And I think you'll see what I see in it. You don't mess with human beings. Let us do our work. Give us the tools and the knowledge and wisdom and teach us things that are valuable and helpful to us. And I'm not talking about ridiculous liberal education and social programming and all this bullshit that's happening in our world right now that people are waking up to. Useless shit, useless knowledge, right? Teaching kids how to freaking, navigate the social world. That's about as useful as what? Nothing. It's not useful at all. Teach them practical wealth building, prosperity building, how to serve one another, how to make shit, how to do shit, how to solve problems, right? How to create value for other people, how to be of service, how to talk to people, how to look people in the eye, how to shake their hand, how to approach people, that kind of stuff. That's valuable, right? You don't teach them all this bullshit. We've been led astray. Let's be honest. We've been led astray. The first step towards getting back on the path is to realize you've been led off the freaking path. And who led you off the path? Your government officials, your education system, your medical system, your financial system, right? That's who led us off the path. And why did they do that? There's money in being led off the freaking path. This is going to be the hardest thing for human beings to do on this returning to the path. We got to accept the fact we've been played. It's not cool to look yourself in the mirror and go, you know what, I was played. But we've all got to do it. I mean, what other choice do we have? Do you want to just live in a delusional state and pretend like you got the shit figured out? I don't have anything figured out. I'd rather be ignorant and know that I got played so that I can get better and improve than to continue living in a freaking fantasy land like I got this shit figured out, or worse, like they'll take care of me, like they'll never do me dirty, like my government's got my back. Give me a freaking break. When in the history of God's green earth did any government ever have any citizens back? When? When was that time? We've all been played. Let's pick up the pieces. Let's move on. Let's get past it. Or I'll tell you what's going to be happening if we don't do that. The grift only gets worse, my friends. It only gets worse. Higher stakes. More money to be made off us. We can end the grift at any time. Stand up, back away from the table, and walk in the other direction. Then the game ends. It isn't hard. It isn't hard. Thanks for listening. Before you go, let me invite you to do a couple things. I would love to have you on my email list. I send out updates and share information and knowledge that may be beneficial to you on your journey. things that have helped me on my journey. I talk about my courses. I talk about my content. I talk about people that I'm following who are doing awesome shit in the world. I talk about all that stuff. You can find it at gmarkphillips.com/subscribe. I also have a Telegram channel. That's t.me/gmarkphillips. I'm everywhere on social media at gmarkphillips. What else? Courses, books, etc., all designed to help you get what you want, or used to be to help you get what you want. Now I'm talking more about the shit that's going down in the world because I feel it's a all hands on deck type of situation. I don't want to talk about this shit. I don't want to ruffle feathers. I don't want to alienate people, but I have no choice because my soul is guiding me to do it, just as other people, many people's souls on the planet are guiding them to talk about this shit. Some are just going balls to the wall and have super courage. I don't have that kind of courage just yet, but let me tell you this, it's coming on more and more all the time. Because again, there's a problem in the world and you see it. I know you see it. We've all got to see it. We don't all have to see it. We'll talk about that in a different video. You know, not everyone has to see this shit for it to get better. Right? There's a large, in fact, the majority of people in my opinion, won't know any of this went down. They'll just be like, oh, the tide's turning and people are believing this now. I'm going to go believe that too. That's awesome because you know what? That's how it is. Not everyone has to see this. Not everyone has to share information and knowledge about, you know, evil shit that's going down in the world or questionable shit that's going down. Not everyone has to do that. But if you feel compelled to do it, please do it. I have a huge list, and maybe one day I'll share this in my email. I have a huge list of patriot moms and dads and kids, freaking people from all walks of life. And I'm so proud of our country. I'm so proud of our world. You know, we had this multi-pronged attack on our freedom and our sovereignty and our way of life and good. It was an attack on good by evil in the world. And all these people said, no, I don't think so. I'm not going to be down with that. Thanks very much. I'm going to start, shining the light of awareness on some evil shit in the world and what you're doing. And I'm going to start questioning this and that and the other thing. I'm so proud of people. And it inspires me in ways that I can't even it makes me want to freaking tear up. Like, this is amazing freaking time we're living in. All right. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe. I'll tell you something. Every day I wake up and I say, Mark, you got to put all your energy into sharing knowledge and information and news stories about what's going on and how to actually get involved. You got to do all that. And then I go, oh, well, but my channel isn't really about that. It's more about consciousness and spirituality and finding your purpose in life and all this. And then I think to myself, here's the inner struggle that I was talking about. This is that inner struggle, right? Oh, my intuition, my inner knowing, my soul is guiding me to say this and speak up about it. But the rational mind is like, Mark, no. Well, how are you going to make money? What are you going to sell to these people? How are you going to help them find their purpose when you're talking about this? Well, I say to myself, well, it doesn't matter. If we don't fix our world, it doesn't matter whether you find work that is in alignment with who you are, whether you find your ikigai, your reason for being, whether you do work that makes you come alive. It doesn't matter. It won't matter. If we don't fix the problem at hand, nothing will matter. We have a problem in our world right now. Evil has got a little bit of a foothold. Let's call it what it is. And so every day I say, okay, I'm going to do it. And this is why I'm talking about that fear of stepping in and actually doing it. It's no joke. That's the resistance, right? That's the devil and Satan working against us, shining our light and speaking our truth and saying and doing things that we're inspired to do despite how fearful we are about that shit. That's the devil and Satan and evil working right there, i.e. resistance. That's how I see it. All right. Thanks so much for listening today. If you see something, say something. If you know something, share it. I'd love to hear it. Leave me a comment down below, tipping me off to some hot new, article or person who is, speaking the truth in the world and waking people up, because I love to hear that stuff. And I'll add that to my list because the list is growing. And I will say this, I'm really close to putting together a whole PDF download that I'll have on my website. And I need to do this sooner rather than later, but I want to put all of my resources and the people that I'm following in there so that we can share this information and knowledge. Okay. So I'm really close to doing that. And maybe some type of I don't know, that might be some, if I think some type of a group document. Now I don't want to go down that road. I'll probably just put it in a PDF and share it with you. Maybe make it part of my, welcome package on my email list, or put it somewhere for free. I don't, something like that. But I've been thinking about that. So let me know in the comments down below if that's something you think would be valuable, because I tell people all the time, all I am is a seeker of knowledge and information. That's it. A knowledge worker. A researcher. That's all I've ever been, and that's probably all I ever will be. Well, I'm like a dog on a bone. When I get a scent of something, I'm going to go and find it. I don't care whether it's going to change my whole paradigm of life. I actually want it to change my whole paradigm of life, right? Some people don't want to know new things because they don't want to change what they don't want it to disrupt their world or the life that they have. And I get that. I'm not knocking that. But I tell my friends all the time that are into this stuff with me, I say, look, I'm committed. I'm committed to, this is when we're talking about success and succeeding in my dream, my goal, which is my vision of having a digital media company, all built around the human experience and life and spirituality. And we are creators. That's the core of my channel, right? The channel for conscious creators. We're creators. And that's it right there. And so the whole purpose is, how can you be a better creator? How can you be a more conscious creator? How can you be the person you came here to be, or you wanted to be before you came into this world? Do the things that you want to do that make you happy and joyful and that are in the highest and best service to your other human beings, your fellow human beings. That's what it's all about. Because at the end of life, we're all going back to where we came from. The question is, did you do the thing you wanted to do when you decided to come in? Or were you too afraid? And you know what? If that's you, I'm not knocking it, because you know what? I'm afraid a lot of the time. But as you get on in life, my experience is I get less afraid. I'm more comfortable speaking up. Maybe that's your experience as well. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you next time. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.